Okay, Jason, how you doing? Okay, well, I've got your post up here. Now, the first thing I want to mention is in any presentation at all, whether it be presenting work to an art director, a creative director, a client, or in this particular case, an instructor, you always want to you want to do all the work up front. So in other words, you really want to make things as complete as possible by letting your viewer know exactly what they're looking at. So in this particular case, I would have reminded the viewer, and you can do this in your final submission, it's just who is your client, and is this the abstract or the pictorial representation, and what is the word? Okay, so right now, all of this information should be right here in front of us so we can take a look at it. All right, so you've got intelligent with the crow. That's interesting. I think that's an interesting choice. I know that you had said to one of your colleagues, where was it? When I think of intelligence, crows and ravens always come to mind, and I'm a little curious about that. And do other people think that? So in other words, if you're trying to depict intelligence, because a crow reminds you, or a crow comes to mind to you when you think of intelligence, is that going to happen to everyone? So in other words, is that a general consensus? Is there some sort of connection between crow and intelligence? And that, I think, is something that's important to keep in mind. As far as your logo marks go here, I think they're very memorable and very simple, which is two of the top 5 things that you could ever want to put on a logo, a list of successful logos. Successful and memorable. Simple and memorable. Both of them really are to a high degree. So good job here. I think this is interesting. I would, this shape right here, I think it's a little bit, it's just so far different than these. What I would recommend here is just coming down here, and instead of using this kind of oval semicircle, I would just come down with straight radiated, maybe one on each side, then closer, then one, instead of this kind of loop right here, because it really doesn't depict what's happening here. It's depicting an oval, but that's not an oval. So maybe even just a couple of lines radiating somehow. I just think that that's a little bit too much right there in terms of keeping things simple. So I would recommend changing that a little bit. And then as far as the crow, I think the crow looks fantastic. We're going to lose a little bit of contrast here with the black wing against the black body. So in that case, you may consider changing your stroke to white in the center of this and where the beak is. And that really depends on you. It's not too bad at all, and I think it's nothing that's going to really affect anything, but it could possibly affect things at a distance, as we can see. When we zoom out a little bit, we can see that we can no longer see that wing. So the question you have to ask yourself is that wing an important part of the logo that it really needs to be seen at small sizes? In that case, you would have to determine what you want to do with that particular area to make it more visible. All right, moving forward from here, I think that you're ready to submit if you just make those little changes that I recommended here. And then just go ahead and this is fine, unless you want to change that. Otherwise, it's fine. But what I'd like you to start thinking of is how you're going to add your type. Now, we don't do that in this particular assignment. You're ready to submit your final submission for the milestone. But moving forward in the class, you would want to take a look at this and determine how you're going to build your logo around this. So in other words, is this a small mark right here, and then you'll have the name of the company right over here, or would the raven be on top and a company name be stacked below it? So try to think about the configuration of assembling that logo with the actual name of the company intact. All right, good job. If you have any questions at all, or if I can clarify anything, please let me know. Thank you very much.